Hey, what is going on? This is Mike Clark, Keys and Knowledge. Back at it again, man. You know I'm powered by the War Team. You know that's my broker, man. Stop playing with me. All right. As well as I am at EF Studios. You already know what it is, man. The high quality, the love the picture, all that great things, man. You know where I'm at. I gotta let you guys know. Now, once again, my name is Michael Clark. You guys can see it at the bottom, host of Keys and Knowledge. I am a realtor out here in El Paso, Texas, man. Now, today we're talking about something near and deep to my heart. As a veteran myself, we need to talk about the VA home loan. And I want to give you guys a more overview, broad overview of what it is. I'll nail some nitty gritty stuff, details, but I just want to give you an overview of it. And if you want more information, definitely stay tuned at the very end. Get my contact information so you can schedule your appointment today. If you can't wait until the end of the video, of course, I have that QR code up there. It takes you right to my website. You scroll to the very bottom, you have options to schedule an appointment if you're ready to sell your home, if you're looking to buy a home, or if you're looking into the foreclosure auction, you need a little more information about that as well. I have something where you can book a consultation for all three. So definitely don't hesitate. Book now, and let's have a conversation. Now, just to be crystal clear, everything I'm sharing today is general information purposes only. For the exact approval details or qualifications, always speak with the licensed lender. Got to do that, right? And I do have preferred lenders that I work with. So if you, once again, need that added value for myself, I could definitely help you out with that. All right. Now, what is the VA loan? A lot of people misunderstand what the VA loan is. So let me simplify it in one sentence. The VA loan is a benefit you earn through services that help make buying a home more accessible for you. All right. Understand that I got to take a pause on it and I got to slow it down for you because I know I have veterans, I have active duty members, I have guardsmen, I have everybody. I know for a fact there's a good population of these service members believe that they don't even count their service. Or, you know how we are. If we feel like we did not accomplish what we set out to be or do, or you believe you're less than because you're not infantry or you weren't airborne or you didn't go to ranger school and you just don't want to count it. I'll give you a great example, man. My mother, she was in the military. She was in the Air Force. I believe for like a year or two, she got pregnant and she got out. But she does not count that service. All those benefits, all those years. And I never really thought about it. And I finally asked her, Mom, you have the VA home loan, right? You could utilize it. Oh, I can't use that. I can't use that. So finally we log in, we check out her benefits. I figure out all that stuff, right? And then I get to her COE. I said, Mom, you have a COE. You have all these things you can do. She said, Oh, I don't count that, boy. I said, What? Anyway, I digress, man. But if you have a service member, if you know somebody who's kind of downplaying their service, let them know. If you've been in longer than 180 days, you got out honorably, you know, this is something you want to use. And if you did get out dishonorable, understand there's so many different um, opportunities to basically figure out how to utilize this program. No lender can just deny you. It has to get sent down um, to the main department, right? The main department that actually approves and denies these VA home loans. So go through the whole thing. Let the people who holds and does everything with the VA home loan, let them dictate if you're denied or approved. Don't let that lender tell you otherwise, however you got out the military. But anyway, understand that this is not free money. It's not a guaranteed approval, but that once again, it's not something every lender handles the same way either. So here's what the VA typically includes: no required down payments in many cases, no private mortgage insurance, competitive rates, relaxed guidelines, credit guidelines, a funding fee, which may be waived in some situations, right? Again, your lender determines your specific qualifications. So understand these qualifications are dictated on the lender. I can go back and forth and we can have this argument, but understand the VA doesn't have a strict, don't have strict guidelines when it comes to utilizing the VA home loan. It's the lenders. So understand you got to ask that lender what they can and can't do, right? And what they're allowing, what they will allow or what they want to do. You just have to ask, right? So understand that El Paso is one of the most VA friendly housing markets in the country. And that's my opinion. I really believe that because one, Fort Bliss is here, right? So you have to cater to that demographic. You have to understand that veterans are here. They're staying here to work for Fort Bliss. They're staying here to work in the community, regardless. And you want to make sure you're attracting those buyers. Understand on the civilian side, they understand what that VA home loan means. They understand that there's no down payment when it comes to that. And you have a better opportunity of purchasing a house than you know that you just have a better opportunity. All right. So the other thing you have to understand in El Paso is we have stable housing prices. Our home prices are stable. Homes here really fit the VA loan requirements. Neighborhoods are close to Fort Bliss, close to all these different gates into Fort Bliss. All right. So understand that there's different pros and cons. So do your research to see which fits your needs. What fits your needs? All right. So understand that, right? So what VA buyers should do first? What should you do first? So now you understand what the VA loan is. You understand a little bit of why you would want to choose El Paso for purchasing your first home or purchasing your second home, whatever, but utilizing your VA loan in El Paso. Well, here are your very first steps that a VA buyer should take. Get your COE, certificate of eligibility. This is going to show lenders you qualify for the VA benefit, right? If you need help with that, I'll get you with a lender. I know how to do it myself. If you want access with it as well, I can show you, I can walk you through it. It is what it is. I check mine out maybe once a year just to make sure I didn't get a new property on my stuff, because I gotta protect it by any means, bro. By any means. Now, speak with a VA experienced lender. That's big, right? That's big. I already told you guys that. Not every lender does the VA loans the same. You got to ask them a couple questions. What's my pre-approval amount? Do I need reserves? What fees should I expect? Those are big, man. Have to ask those. Have to. Are there any additional requirements for my situation? Get that in detail, man. And make sure you can see it in writing. Just like in the military, man, when you look at them regulations, make sure you can see everything that someone's telling you in writing. All right. I don't believe nothing if it is not in writing. All right. Step 3. Understand the budget before you look at home. This is big. All right. This is big. And understand too, if you're approved for 200,000, don't look for a home at 200,000. Maybe we should be at like 180, 170, because you don't want to max yourself out for no reason at all. All right. That's not what you want to do. So El Paso has many price points for your pre-approval guides. So your pre-approval is going to guide your search. So like I said, once you find out what you're pre-approved for, whether it's 300,000, 400,000, 200,000, all right, that's going to determine what we're looking at, right? Now, once we get that pre-approval, what's the next part? Well, we're going to connect with the realtor who understands VA requirements. Hey, whether you work with me, I'm hoping you work with me or anyone else, but understand you need to connect with the realtor who understands VA requirements. Some homes meet VA appraisals easily. Others may need repairs and, updates, right? I help buyers understand what to look for and how to navigate that process. I'm telling you, you don't want to walk into a house and see the whole roof is missing. I'm telling you, VA, without a doubt, is not going to approve it. The house has to be livable. It has to be in a particular condition, and you're not going to get a normal appraisal. Appraiser. The appraiser has to be certified through the VA as well, because they're going to look at some other things as well, right? Just to ensure that house is safe. Now, the next thing, what are the 5 most common mistakes VA buyers make? You got to talk about it. Got to talk about it, right? These apply to almost everyone I work with. So let me break them down. Waiting too long to start the process. Don't you don't have to wait. I see people hesitating because of their credit or because they think they may not qualify. You don't know if you're going to qualify. Remember, the eligibility requirements for the VA home loan is very lax. It just the requirements really depend on the bank and institution that you're going to use. Not only that, what you may think's a problem may not be a problem to that lender, or may be an easy fix that the lender can help you through. Once again, I have preferred lenders that I work with that I know will help you step by step, no matter where you're at in your home buying process, where you're at financially. Like I said, we have to get out of the habit of trying to assess ourselves and let someone else look at it from a different viewpoint, professionally, financially. Let them look at it before we just exit out and say we can't buy out. All right. Next, what's the second mistake? Not understanding your full payment. Your total payment includes taxes and insurance. Also, additionally, I'm going to be transparent. Out here in El Paso, we have what's called muds and PIDs. You need to understand that as well. And I'll be happy to talk about that all day, every day. I have other videos about it, but I'll be happy to talk to you about that as well. You need to understand your full payment. Once again, yes, there's no down payment for the VA home loan, but you still got to pay your taxes, property taxes. You still got to pay insurance. Of course, you have, there are exemptions depending, but once again, we just want to have a full grasp of what we're paying for, full grasp. Now, we also, what's the next mistake? Only looking in one area. Only looking in one area. El Paso has many great neighborhoods depending on lifestyle and distance to Fort Bliss. And overall, El Paso as a whole is huge, man. Even if you're not working on Fort Bliss and you're just a veteran, there's so many different options, so many different options that you can choose from. It would behoove you to just make sure that you're placing yourself in the right spot, right? You don't have to settle because there's so many different locations that have a bunch of different amenities that you may find better on this side of town, you know? So that's what I would say, man. What I'm getting at is some people believe that, hey, only veterans should stay over here on this side of town, or only this side of town has the best schools, or only this side of town has the best resources. Like, understand El Paso as a whole and figure out what benefits you. All right, don't go off of what other people are telling you. Additionally, thinking VA loans take much longer. All right, this is mistake number 4. People really believe that the VA loans are different from conventional FHA when it comes to timeline. Depending on your lender experience, VA loans can process in similar timelines to other loans. So just understand that. And if there's a difference in the timeline, it's not going to be much. All right. So let's get that out of our head immediately. So what's mistake number 5, Mike? Not budgeting for moving costs. That's big. That's big. Even with VA, you still have inspection fees, appraisal fees, closing costs, although sometimes sellers may contribute. As well as, if you guys been following me, I also, this is or an organic plug at this point, I guess. I do have this Sunday, I have a seminar going over the Mikasa Homebuyer Grant Program that helps with the closing costs. It helps with some of these fees. So, you know, you need to make sure you're budgeting for this, and as well as finding resources for whatever reason, if this is holding you back when it comes to having that money available when it comes to those particular fees. All right. Now, lastly, I would say what to expect in the El Paso market. Now, that's we're going to move forward, right? So those are 5 mistakes that people make all the time. Once again, I'm gonna repeat them really quick for you. So you're waiting too long to start the process, not understanding your full payment, only looking in one area, thinking VA loans take much longer when they don't, not budgeting for moving costs. These are the things that you have to, you know, not make a mistake on. You have to understand these, right? You have to. And that's my job. I'm gonna help you understand it, give you uh, better information so you can make a better decision. So now, what to expect in the El Paso market? Now, in El Paso, VA buyers see homes in the mid-range price points move steadily. I will tell you that. Nice. You're gonna find some properties 200 to 250, 300, depending on where you want to be at. Once again, if you have your full benefit, as long as you can get approved for the loan, you most likely got it, right? Understand that. I will still say with the price points, make sure that you can buy a house that you can truly afford. I do see VA home loans on the foreclosure list every month. So please, please, please do not buy more house than you can really take care of. Next, many sellers are familiar with the VA standards. So understand that's something you can expect out here in the El Paso market. They really understand that. There's a lot of realtors out here that do understand the VA home loan. Understand that the competition varies by zip code. So there is competition out here. The zip codes um, could become challenging when it comes to you selling your property, depending on where your property lies and what you're trying to sell, and how close you are from new builds and different subdivisions, and all this stuff takes a part, right? Overall, but just understanding that you have to have a knowledgeable realtor that understands the area. Now, you also need to understand that some areas are fast moving. Um, they're faster moving than others. You have to understand that as well. So if you're looking to buy or you're looking to be in a certain area, you need to understand some homes will not last long. Right now, and I just pulled this up, it's 30 days. Homes are on the market for 30 days. Doesn't give you that much time, man. It doesn't really give you that much time because, there's just a lot going on where properties are moving quickly. Some aren't, but you got to understand there's incentives that are out there because, once again, most people, why are they not buying? Because they're saying the interest rates are high. Instead of looking at this as a problem, look at this as something of an opportunity because now you can truly negotiate as a buyer. So there's some incentives going on that's excelling in making these homes move quickly. Quickly, I promise you. All right. So understand that, man. So if you're a service member or a veteran planning to move to El Paso or even thinking about it, I'm here to guide you through the general process and point you toward trusting lenders. I'm going to point you toward those trusted lenders, and if you want to use a particular lender, absolutely. Absolutely. That's no problem at all. Now, send me a message, comment VA info, or reach out directly. I can share a general step-by-step VA home buyer guide, lender connections, neighborhood insight. You know, I got resources for schools as well for you that'll help you figure out where the best schools are, as well as help you prepare for the market the right way. Every build buyer situation is different. So the sooner we talk, the easier it gets. And we can kind of break it down until you truly understand the home buying process, you understand the El Paso market, and you can figure that out, right? So I'm Michael Clark, realtor with the War Team, man. You already know. And thank you for watching today's EA home buying guide for El Paso. Remember, this video is for general information purposes only. For specific lending or qualification details, always speak with the licensed lender. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.